Okay, so today I'm going to be reviewing this timer relay board. You can find it kind of all over the internet under the name ZK-J06. That's officially what it says on the datasheet. I got it on Amazon from a seller called Pemenol, P-E-M-E-N-O-L, I think. And it's marketed as a timer relay on there under their account. I'll put a link down in the comments or in the description. But it's a pretty neat little timer board. It's a lot more versatile than I initially thought it would be. It comes with this little acrylic laser cut case. These are just garbage. I really don't like these. They're a pain in the ass to assemble. They look kind of hokey. I hate peeling off that little sticky cardboard or sticky paper stuff that they put on that acrylic. I would much rather just bolt this inside the enclosure that this is going to be attached to. They market it as like being a relay that you can use for a smart home, industrial control, automatic irrigation, indoor ventilation, etc. For some reason, when I see this, the first thing I think of is like a sign, or perhaps a light that's triggered by a door or something. Irrigation might be a good one. Although for irrigation, I think I'd want a little bit more control. But I mean, it's kind of a neat little device. It's got two MOSFETs here that drive this the actual relay itself. So it's all solid state. It's got this voltage regulator, LM317, I believe. I think it's got a microcontroller underneath the 7-segment display. It's got some reverse polarity protection, a couple diodes there. I didn't get a chance to look and see what this chip right there is. I'm actually not sure on that one. But I mean, it's a fairly simple design, and there's a little LED that lights up whenever the relay is active. So it's got effectively 7, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 different programs. The first 3 are almost identical. There's just a slight variation on how it responds to the trigger. And program 1 and program 4 are actually almost the same. The thing is, program 4, it responds differently to when you hold down the trigger. Program 3 allows looping of the relay of the timer, and program 2, I think, initially turns off for the clear time, and then starts activates the relay. So it's like a delayed timer. But the features that they market here are, digital tube display, and this data sheet. I mean, it's really, I don't know. I applaud the effort that whoever did this, attempted to make it, but it really just kind of looks like that they had some data sheet in Chinese, and then they just kind of shoved the whole thing through Google Translate or something. Because if you look at the work modes, for example, P1.1, output keep on for time OP after get trigger signal and then off. The input signal is invalid if get trigger signal again during delayed time OP. It's just, I mean, yeah, technically I guess it makes sense, but if this were written by someone who spoke native English, it would just, clearly it's not. So let's go and see how it works. I don't want to make this video too long. But it's basically, there's a stop, set, up, and down buttons on here. In order to select the program that you want, you just press and hold set for 3 seconds, and then release. Right now I'm in program 4, so I'm going to go to program 1.1, just for example. And to select the program, you click set again. Sometimes it works. Oh, I actually activated the program. Didn't want to do that. I've noticed that these buttons are kind of finicky. Like I think it just depends on when the interrupts fire on the microcontroller. Okay, program 1.1, yes, I want that one. Press set. So the first value I'm going to edit is OP value. This decimal down here is very important. When it's at the very end, that means that you're programming the number of seconds that you want. You can press up or down. I find that you need to change it first, and then you can press this stop button on the left-hand side. When you do that, it changes the position of that decimal place. So if the decimal place is moved over to the left by 1, you're now in, I guess it'd be hundredths of milliseconds mode. So this would go on for half of a second, 0.5 seconds. So I can do, if I hold down the up button, I can change that, so now it's 7.4 seconds. So I actually prefer this mode over just the regular seconds mode, because it's, I don't know, the display is kind of more, it just kind of looks cooler when it's counting down. So let's go ahead and just go down to, like, I don't know, 5 point something seconds. So we'll set that, and then hold it down to activate the program, another 3 seconds. And it flashes the program that's going to be active, and then when it's 0000 is displayed, that means that the program is active. And then when the trigger is activated in this mode, the light turns on, it counts down, and we're good. So the this is all powered by 5 volts right here. I've got my 5 volt supply on this rail. There's a simple V in and a ground, and then the relay has a positive, which is going to my LED here, and then a negative, which kind of loops back down. So the relay effectively has a V out and a, I guess, relay ground or V out ground. Do not connect the voltage in ground to the relay circuit. You'll get some weird behavior. I accidentally did that when I was trying to figure out how this whole thing worked. The trigger right here is a separate circuit entirely. There's a jumper here to jump the trigger ground and the V in ground together, although they suggest not to do that in the documentation for noise issues. So by default, a separate power supply has to activate the trigger, and that can be anywhere from 3 to 24 volts. So on this side I have 3.3 volts active on this rail. For no particular reason, I just wanted to see if it would go down to 3.3 volts or not. And basically this the difference between these two pins is 3.3 volts when I press down on the switch here. And that activates the trigger, everything goes smoothly. So in the first program, you press down on the trigger, and the trigger button is deactivated for the duration of the timer, or that the timer is active. So no matter how many times I press, it's a single shot, and then any attempts to activate it further fail while that's on. In the P1.2 mode, it's almost the same thing, but it will restart the timer if you press down while the timer is active. So we'll go up to P1.2, go and set, and we'll go ahead and activate that. Press it down, and now I can reset it any number of times that I want. If I hold it down, though, it won't affect it at all. So it won't continually keep reactivating. It will on program 4, but not program 1.2. 1.3 will deactivate the timer if it is pressed again. Program 2, you can set 2 different times. The first time will be well, there's an OP and a CL. So I'll show that here real quick. Program 2, set. God, this thing's a pain. It's a pain to use these buttons. I wish it had a better interface. Okay, so there's the OP time, which is, say, 5.5 seconds, and a CL time, which is 1.2 seconds in this case, so I can go ahead and hold down for 3 seconds and activate it. Hold down for 3 seconds and activate it. Okay. And now if I press the trigger button, it counts down the delay and then the activation. Program 3s are kind of interesting. 3.1 and 3.2 are actually exactly the same. The only difference is on 3.1 the trigger activates it, and on 3.2 it's activated upon power up. Essentially what that allows you to do is set OP, which is the on time, CL, which is the clear time, and then you can optionally loop after that. So you can loop for a number of LOP cycles. So to demonstrate that, we'll just do the 3.1 program here real quick. 3.1 set, so there's OP. I'm going to leave it 5.5, CL, I'm going to leave it 1.2, and then there's loop, LOP. Right now it's at 4, but I could go have it loop infinitely. When there's 3 dashes displayed there, that's an infinite loop that's activated. So let's say I want it to loop 3 times. Go ahead and set that, hold down 3 seconds for it to activate. Okay, program 3.1 is active, press it down, and now it should loop on this timer for 3 seconds. And like I said, 3.2 is exactly the same, it just does it whenever you power on the module instead of the trigger. And then, like I said before, P4 essentially functions the same as the program 1 modes, but if you hold it down, it will keep the timer in the, I guess, starting state, if that makes sense. So program 4, so if I hold down the button there, it stays at the CL time, or excuse me, the OP time, and then once I release, the timer activates. Simple as that. And I can press the button at any time there, and it goes back up to the beginning again. And that's pretty much it. It has a few extra little options. Let's see. It has like a sleep mode. I haven't messed with that yet, but I think it basically turns off the display. So auto sleep function, long press button stop to turn on or off auto sleep mode. And I think what that does is it turns off if there's no operation within 5 minutes. The screen will automatically turn off if there's no operation within 5 minutes. And then there's I'm not even sure what this on and off does. So enable disabled output by, oh, I know. So if you just short press stop, and then if I press the button here, even though the timer is functioning, the relay will not function at all. If you press it again to its on position, the relay functions once more. And so those are the two little extra functions of the stop button. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty good little module. I like it a lot. You know, when I first got this, I wasn't quite sure what to make of it. But actually playing around with it, I can think of several things that this would be pretty handy for. So yeah, Until next time, thanks for watching.